Ay caramba! The Simpsons is the second longest running scripted primetime series in the United States. Matt Groening's animated sitcom first aired way back in 1988 and has become one of the most popular shows in the world. In 2007, The Simpsons movie hit theaters around the world and was met with universal critical acclaim. And it grossed $527 million worldwide to boot.
Money.
Hey, watch it, Chief.
It's a satirical depiction of American working-class life, but it's also impressively capable of delivering searing social commentary and has truly become a global cultural touchstone.
Oh yeah, I'm a superstar.
Every time you watch it, you're bombarded with Easter eggs and references that aren't always easy to catch. In this video, we'll run you through 25 of them that you probably missed.
Now let's do this thing.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of Screen Rant's great new videos. Let's start off with a big one spread over a number of episodes. Throughout the series, a number of intermittent clips of Rainier Wolfcastle's character McBain pop up when the Simpsons are watching TV. As it turns out, you can actually piece them all together to form an entire McBain movie, complete with a structured narrative.
The film is just me in front of a brick wall for an hour and a half. It cost $80 million.
How do you sleep at night?
In the show's original opening credits, when Maggie was swiped on the supermarket's cash register, the till displayed $847.63. This amount wasn't random and actually came from a survey that said $847.63 was the average cost per month of raising a baby in the United States.
Nummy, nummy, num.
Speaking of the opening credits, the man who composed the theme music that plays over them is Danny Elfman. Danny's name is hidden on a storefront in those opening credits, just as his theme begins to play. In a streetcar named Marge, Maggie was placed in a daycare at the Ayn Rand School for Tots. When Homer picked her up from there, after she and the other Tots had regained their confiscated pacifiers, there was an eerie recreation of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. 2 cars in every garage and 3 eyes on every fish saw Mr. Burns attempting to be elected as governor. When he delivered his campaign speech, it was in front of a massive black and white poster emblazoned with his face. Said poster was taken straight from Citizen Kane.
Is your boss governor yet?
Not yet, son, not yet.
In Lisa the Beauty Queen, the Simpsons' eldest daughter was sworn in as the new Miss Springfield. The framing and tone of the shot rather eerily echoed a famous photograph of Lyndon B. Johnson being sworn in as president after the assassination of JFK. Duffless saw Lisa attempting to determine if Bart was dumber than a hamster. When he reached for 2 electrically charged cupcakes, the sequence was animated frame for frame to follow Alex DeLarge's realization that he could no longer enjoy sex and violence in A Clockwork Orange.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
On a number of occasions throughout the years, the number A113 has been used as the inmate and mugshot numbers for the likes of Krusty, Sideshow Bob, and Bart. This wasn't random, as the number refers to a room used by animation students at the California Institute of the Arts. It has also appeared in several other animated shows and a number of Disney Pixar movies. The front saw Grandpa Simpson taking all the credit for Bart and Lisa's ability to come up with kick-ass itchy and scratchy ideas. At the ceremony, just before Grandpa won a writing award, none other than The Simpsons creator Matt Groening could be seen laughing when the clip of the Itchy and Scratchy episode was played. The chalkboard gag in Dead Pudding Society saw Bart writing "I am not a 32-year-old woman" over and over again. This of course made reference to the fact that Bart is voiced by a woman, Nancy Cartwright, who at the time was 32. Cartwright is now 60 years old, so this Easter egg is now pretty much an antique. In Lisa on Ice, there were 2 men sat behind Homer in the ice hockey crowd. They were none other than Chief Wiggum's colleagues Lou and Eddie, but they were almost unrecognizable out of their police uniforms.
Wow! Can I see your club?
It's called a baton, son.
Oh, what's it for?
We club people with it.
In the I Am Furious episode, when Bart's comic book Angry Dad became a success, an online company decided to make an animated version of the stories. In a very cool meta reference, Homer's real-life voice actor Dan Castellaneta auditioned for the role of the character inspired by the man he voices.
Woohoo! When do I get paid?
In 2012.
No!
Bart vs. Australia saw Bart make a prank call to an Australian boy, sparking international outrage. After making an apology down under, Bart mooned a group of Aussies, which angered them. As the Simpsons escaped the country in a helicopter, the scene was extremely similar to a famous photo from the fall of Saigon. In the episode, Lisa the Vegetarian, guest star Paul McCartney said that if you play the song Maybe I'm Amazed backwards, it revealed a recipe for lentil soup. The episode's closing credits were accompanied by said song, and sure enough, if you play it backwards, a faint voice can be heard reciting said recipe. The Homer's Barbershop Quartet episode saw Principal Skinner recognizing an old prison helmet from his days in a Vietnam POW camp. It had the number 24601 on it, which is the prison number tattooed on Jean Valjean in Les Mis.
Small world, huh?
It is. It really, really is.
In the Halloween special, Treehouse of Horror 13, Homer got cloned multiple times by his incredible new hammock. The clone army grew to include many notable alternate versions of the character, including the obese Homer seen in King Size Homer, the Tracy Ullman Show version of Homer, and perhaps most notably, Peter Griffin from Family Guy. In another Halloween special, Treehouse of Horror 6, Homer ventured into a three-dimensional world. At one point, there was a string of hexadecimal numbers located behind him. The numbers were 46, 72, 69, 6E, 6B, 20, 72, 75, 6C, 65, 73, and 21. When they're converted to ASCII, those numbers read Frink Rules, as a reference to Professor Frink. The final Halloween episode Easter egg we're including comes from Treehouse of Horror 28. One segment includes a parody of Coraline, in which Snowball the Fifth speaks for the first time. The voice of Snowball the Fifth was provided by Neil Gaiman, the man who wrote the brilliant 2002 Coraline novel.
For centuries, the cat has been the symbol of intelligence, the other world, savoir-faire. Oh, shiny!
In the Simpsons movie, after Bart and Homer crossed the Springfield Gorge on a motorcycle, you could clearly see a tree with a white vehicle crashed into it behind them. This was the ambulance that crashed while carrying an injured Homer in the Bart the Daredevil episode of the show. In Dark Knight Court, there was a literal Easter egg in the intro's famous couch gag. The Simpsons family were all on the couch, represented as decorated Easter eggs, apart from Homer, who didn't realize they were there, so he sat on them and crushed them. The Simpsons was a parody of the medieval fantasy genre. While there was obviously no nuclear power plant in this fantasy world, there was still space for some classic mutated three-eyed creatures. In this case, in the form of a dragon on the title screen and a raven in the episode itself, which is also a reference to Game of Thrones.
And Maggie gets the beat.
In Marge vs. Singles, Seniors, Childless Couples, and Teens, and Gays, the people of Springfield lobbied to deprive the town of all child-friendly things. As Moe turned the R on the Toys R Us sign around, Milhouse could be seen making a face reminiscent of the famous Weeping Frenchman photograph from World War II. In the episode called The Town, there was a scene where the Boston Americans rallied to win a football game against the Springfield Atoms in the dying moments. In a rerun of that episode, the Simpsons crew snuck in and replaced the team names with Atlanta and New England to turn the fictional game into the real-life Super Bowl that had taken place a week before. The Lego episode of The Simpsons, Brick Like Me, was teeming with Lego-based jokes and Easter eggs. One of them was a bunch of books appearing that they were written by Philip K. Brick, a parody of Philip K. Dick. For example, the books included You Brick and A Scanner Blockley, which were parodies of Ubik and A Scanner Darkly, respectively. Both God and Jesus Christ are recurring characters in The Simpsons. In the show, they both have 5 fingers on each hand, but they're the only characters for whom that's the case, as everybody else only has 4.
5 fingers? Ooh, freak show.
And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Can you think of any memorable Simpsons Easter eggs that were easy to miss? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos just like this one. See you later, and don't have a cow, man.